All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, December 7th edition of the MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, joined by Big Marcel, 5 p.m. Eastern show, Marcel, the new time slot for the show going forward, guys. Glad that you're here with me, Marcel. Hopefully we get some people in the chat today. We'll break down these fights for you guys. Looking forward to talking about it. I mean, this card is sick, so it's going to be a good podcast. Marcel, man, what's going on? I know your team just won. So how's everything, man?
Everything is good, man. I mean, I enjoyed the game. Obviously, it wasn't really an important game because we were already through to the next stage. But it's fun to win 6 of your 6 games, so it's amazing. So all good. Kind of a stomach pain today, like I told you. But overall, good stuff, man.
Let's all wish Marcel much better health, and hopefully he makes it through the rest of the podcast healthy. Hype MMA's here. Let's go. Damn right. Let's get into it, Marcel. Might as well. All right. So we'll start with, we got 15 fights. So we got a lot to talk about, guys. Let's get right into it. First fight of the night. Julianna Robertson takes on Priscilla Cachoeira. Julianna Robertson, Marcel, is the second biggest favorite in the card right now, minus 360 and plus 300 on Cachoeira. So what do you think about these odds, and who do you think wins the fight?
Yeah, man. The obvious thing what Julianna Roberts going to try to do is take her down, I think. If you saw Priscilla Cachoeira last time out against Gina Mazzani, she got taken down and she couldn't stand up. And actually, I love Mike Beltran, but he helped her out in that fight. He standed the fight up, and that completely changed the fight. She stopped Gina Mazzani there, but she wasn't going to stand up if he didn't help her there at that point. And I love Mike Beltran. I think he's one of the best refs, but that's maybe one of the only times I didn't agree with him what he did there, So this is pretty much, I think Cachoeira will try to knock her out. I think Julianna Robertson is much more talented. I think she's smarter than that. I think she will go try to take her down and probably try to control her for 3 rounds, try to get a submission. But I see this going to a decision. I'm favoring Robertson here to win the fight.
Yeah, honestly, I think I got to go with her too. I do think the odds are a little bit wide, guys. I mean, Robertson's lost 2 straight fights. She hasn't looked great lately, but stylistically, it is a fight she should win just because, Priscilla, again, taken down 4 times by Mazzani, and Mazzani's gas tank just ran out, and also the Mike Beltran stand-up too. I mean, those things went against her. I just don't see Robertson really having that massive gas tank issue that she has. I haven't been really impressed with Jillian lately, but we've seen what she can do in the UFC if she does get her opponent down, gets on top or gets your back. And even in the last fight, Miranda Maverick, I bet on Miranda in that fight, and it was a pretty competitive fight. It wasn't like a complete blowout. So I think she's taking some time off now, not had 9 months off to prepare for her next fight. I do think we'll hopefully see more improvement from Jillian, like in the stand-up, but at the same time, Marcel, I expect her just to go for takedowns. I think if anything, if the fight stays on the feet, she could be at the risk of getting finished by strikes for sure, because Cachoeira's got knockout power, but I still I'm not sold on her, Marcel, just because she's won a couple of fights. I'm not sold on her. I don't love the odds on Robertson, guys. It's not like I'm running to bet on her here, but I do think she probably wins the fight. I'm leaning in decision too, Marcel, but I think she does have those submission wins in that division's history, so it's possible she could get a submission. Get some comments here. Daniel, hey, Daniel. Daniel likes to finish. Hey, Phantom Key. Robertson's record's not great. It's really not. I mean, both women, their records aren't amazing, That's why it's the 15th fight in the card. You know what I mean, Marcel? That's why it's the first one. So
it's the fight. It's also the least appealing fight of all 15 fights, to be really honest. So
it's true, but again, Jillian, she's at her best. She could submit anyone in this division.
Yeah,
so we'll see if she can get it done. But I'll just say this: it wouldn't completely shock me if if Cachoeira somehow after the first round she didn't get finished, was able to stop her. But everything's pointing towards me Robertson just holding her down and grinding her up. Let's go to the next fight here, guys. This is a fun fight, man. And I think it could be fight of the night, but I also feel it's going to end pretty early too, just because the way these guys fight. I feel like they're going to stand and trade. You got Randy Costa taking on Tony Kelly. Great fight, Marcel. And the odds for this one, Randy Costa minus 180, Tony Kelly plus 158. What do you think?
Yeah, the funny thing is with Randy Costa last time against Adrian Yanez, he looked like the next big thing in the division in the first round, and then he kind of gassed and Adrian took over and Adrian won the fight. Tony Kelly, a debut fight of the night, lost against Kai Kamaka III, then won against Ali Al-Kazi in a fun matchup. Tony Kelly is mostly in the times in the fun matchups. I really think that Costa will come out guns blazing again, and Kelly again. I only think that Costa doesn't need the gas tank this time because I don't see it going 2 or 3 rounds. I think it will be over in the first. So I'm going with Costa, and I'm going with Costa via stoppage. We had a TKO stoppage in that fight. I think it will be an amazing fight for how long it goes.
Yeah, I feel very similar. Like I think it's going to be fun, but I also feel like it ends early too because I like Costa too in this fight. I do think he knocks him out, man. I think his striking is at a different level. Like Tony Kelly's a decent fighter. If he survives the first round, I think he'll win. I'll say that right now, Marcel. If Costa doesn't finish him in the first round, he'll probably lose the fight. But I think he gets him out of there quick, honestly. Like, this guy is very impressive with the striking, as you saw, guys, in all his fights really in the UFC. The guy's got crazy power, different angles. I mean, he fought Adrian Nunez. Adrian Nunez, a lot of people say, is like the best boxer, one of them in the division. He was completely tooling him until he gassed out. So I think this guy's really good, Mark. I've always liked Randy Costa, so I think he's a fun guy to watch. But again, if he gasses out, it wouldn't shock me if Kelly came back and finished him like second or third round. I'm just hoping that doesn't happen because I do like Randy, and he'll probably be a guy, like, I don't know if I'll bet on him per se, but I do like him for like fantasy, like DraftKings. He's a guy that can score you, 100 plus points every time he fights because he can get that first round knockout in the first minute even. Let's get some comments here, guys. Alex checking in. Hey, Alex, what's up, man? How's it going? Daniel, fair play to Marcel getting the legend. I know it's because I cut my hair. Tony fighting injured. Yeah, I saw that. I heard about this. I mean, that's not good, like, apparently he has some sort of injury, like, or he's had some nagging injury, apparently. So, Robertson catch word not to go to the distance. It's possible. It's possible, Daniel, for sure. Hey, Noah, what's going on, man? He says, it's going to be a firefight. I'm excited to see you guys stand in bank. Keep up the great work, guys. A big fan of both of you. Hey, I'm a big fan of you, bud. Thanks, man. What else we got here? Josh Watson Lewis. Kelly had a rotator cuff injury, too. Yeah, he's got some banged up shoulder or something, guys. Like when Adam brings up DFS. I'll try to incorporate it more. I'm not with Elite Fantasy anymore, so I'm allowed to talk about DFS. I wasn't really able to before because, it was my job for another website. But I can bring it up a little bit more. But I think, Costa is a guy that, man, he's a guy that can score you that first minute bonus in DraftKings. So he's a good guy to target this weekend. Now, man, that's a good fight on the stand-up. Let's go to the next fight, Marcel. You talk about another fun fight, Marcel, on the ground, Ryan Hall against Derek Minner. I mean, this fight could be really fun. As someone who, I think most of us that watch the show will enjoy this kind of grappling. Like, this is going to be a fun fight if it goes to the ground, which I think it will. But we got right now Ryan Hall minus 200, Derek Minner plus 170. You think the odds are a little bit too wide here, Marcel? You think Ryan Hall wins? What are your thoughts on the fight?
I know you say this fight will be fun. I think it could be fun. I'm not 100% sure it's going to be fun.
No, you're right. It could be fun. You're right.
Because, with Ryan Hall, you got to be really honest with me, man. Ryan Hall, he's not really developing. He's still doing the same thing, and it works for him 9 out of 10 times. Only it didn't work against Poirier, and it didn't work against Saul Rogers in the Ultimate Fighter show. So the thing is, this fight 100% goes to the ground. We also we know Hall will get it to the ground somehow, and can Minner defend that? I'm not sure, man, to be really honest. I think Minner has looked decent in many of his UFC fights so far. Surprised me in some of them, like the Charles Rosa fight, for example. But Ryan Hall is a specialist. You know what I mean? He's a specialist at a certain thing. And if you're a specialist and you can drag your opponent to that specialty, you can do your specialty to your opponent, And since I don't think Minner has the same tools that Topuria has, I think Ryan Hall gets the finish here with a submission. And if it's not in the first round, he gets in the second round, but he will get the finish. I
mean, like, I think both guys are like really talented, obviously. I like Derek Minner a lot, man. Like, I've bet on him a few times as an underdog against Rosa.
I know you did.
Yeah, I really liked him in that fight. And then obviously he lost his last fight as a favorite. So he's one of these guys that's kind of like hit and miss a little bit, Marcel. That's the problem with him. He's hit and miss. And here's the biggest issue I have, because I think he can win this fight. I actually do think he can win the fight because I think his top game is really good. It's possible he could hold Ryan Hall down. I really do think it's possible. But looking at his record, Marcel, he's been submitted 8 times in his career. 8 times. That's a lot of submission losses, guys.
That's really concerning.
Yeah, going up against Ryan Hall, that's really concerning. So, while it's possible Minner could grind him out, get on top, pound him out, just stay on top position. Just the way this matchup plays out, like, Derek Minner's probably going to take him to the ground, and Ryan Hall at some point will probably get his back or something. You know what I mean, Marcel? I just feel like it's kind of a fight that it favors Hall.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. I mean, James Krause will be in Minner's corner. Maybe he'll tell him, hey, don't go to the ground with this guy. Stand and trade with him. Because Ryan Hall's striking is pretty bad, But at the same time, I will say that, the Derek Elkins fight, he knocked down Derek Elkins in that fight, so as bad as ugly as it looked against Topuria, and that fight was just probably his worst performance ever. But, this is a different fight, Go ahead.
The thing with Hall is also he's difficult to touch, and that's because he comes with those 50-50 position. He always tries to get with his two legs. So if you punch, he pretty much already falls behind, and he tries to get you with his legs. Yeah. So it's always hard to touch, and that's what was with Topuria. Only Topuria wait for the right moment, and he knocked him out. You know what I mean? So
yeah. That's the thing. I think if anything, this fight will, especially if Hall gets the finish, like I think he might. Mm-hmm. It'll show how good Topuria is, which we already know. I think most people in this chat know that Ilia Topuria is really, really good.
I love the Evloev fight, but at the same time, I hate it because
I know. The thing is, the division. There's so many fighters now. They have to start doing these fights. It's the same with bantamweight, man. You're going to see prospects matched up. They have no choice now because these what's his name? Trevin Jones is fighting Basharat. Yeah. Trevin Jones has had a brutal strength of schedule, man. Marcel, this guy's had the hardest fights I've seen for a guy in his first couple fights in the UFC. Like Timur Valiev and Said Yokub, Kakramanov, and all this. Are you kidding? That is really, really hard. And also, what's his name? Mario Batista, too, is a good fighter. So, some guys get matched up tough. Anyways, let's get the comments. Hey, Kevin, what's up, man? Just wanted to say hi. Winner by decision. I think it's possible to win, but honestly, the more time he spends on the ground, which is probably where the fight will be, the more risky is getting it finished, right? Mm-hmm. Predicting a stand-up war. Oh gosh, I hope not. But I will say this though: the Elkins fight wasn't that bad in the stand because he did drop him a couple times, showed some different kicks and stuff. But it was also 2.5 years ago. And I don't know which Ryan's improved in the stance since then. It is a weird fight, I agree, but Trevin's got crazy strength of schedule, man. That's the thing we talk about here. It's not just how many wins you have and how you're doing. It's also who you beat. You know what I mean, Marcel? So that's important. Go to the next fight here, guys. Alex Perez against Matt Schnell. I feel like this fight no one's talking about at all, honestly. On 15 fights, no one's talking about this fight. Alex Perez minus 320, Matt Schnell plus 260. Let's give these guys some love, Marcel. Give me your thoughts on this one.
I know Alex Perez can't wait to get back in the octagon, man. This fight got rescheduled, I think, 2 or 3 times. Alex Perez, last fight, we all know he lost to Davison Figueiredo. The title fight was that. Before that, he has looked solid, man. Dude is very solid. I think he has a good ground game. He's actually a wrestler, right? He comes from a wrestling background, but the striking is also very decent, I think. If you look at Matt Schnell, I think overall he is okay fighter, but I don't see him as a top guy. You know what I mean? He loses too many fights. I know the Rogério Bontorin fight was at 135, but the split decision against Nam, close fight. The Pantoja fight lost. Before that, a nice streak of wins, but and I still think the Inoue fight was very close when I think I scored that one for Inoue back then, but it's some time ago. I think that people really underestimate Alex Perez. And the thing is, because he got finished in the first round by Davison Figueiredo, nobody's talking about the 2 cage grabs that Figueiredo had where he advanced his position and got Perez in that submission, and got him in dominant positions. Nobody's talking about that. They were minor grabs, but they were there, and they were significant, actually, in that fight. Go watch it back, people, if you don't believe me. Perez all day in this fight, in my opinion. I think Perez wins this fight. No problem. If he doesn't finish him, definitely a 30-27 decision. Perez all day.
I also like Alex Perez, man. I do think he wins this fight. I love the guy. I mean, I've always liked him. I wasn't surprised he lost to Figueiredo. The one that shocked me was when he got knocked out by Benavidez. That really surprised me. But that was Benavidez' last good win, that was the last time he had him. That was 3 years ago. This guy.
Short notice for Perez.
Yeah, it's 3 years ago. It's a long time ago. The layoff is obviously a little concerning, Marcel, but I just think he's such a better fighter, in my opinion. And I feel like the one thing is his durability is so much more. I think. I mean, both guys can get finished, but I just Matt Schnell's been knocked out quite a few times in the UFC. I definitely think it's possible Alex Perez knocks him out, Marcel. Maybe just leg kicks him and then knocks him out, like we saw against Formiga, the leg kicks. I also think he's got submissions too. I think he wins kind of everywhere, to be honest with you, Marcel. I really like him in this fight. I mean, he's a big favorite. Pardon?
He's very all around, I think.
He is, yeah. I mean, Schnell has had some good fights in the UFC, but overall, I've been kind of underwhelmed by him, to be honest with you, in his career. I think he's got a chance to win if it goes to the ground. He could submit him maybe, but stay standing, which I think it will. I think Perez beats him on the feet. So, for me, getting outstruck by Bontorin is not a good sign. Marcel going against Perez, I think he wins the fight. Rockwell, hey Rockwell, what's going on, man? He likes Matt Schnell. I mean, I know the odds are kind of wide, but for me, it's Perez winning this fight. Minus 320, Marcel. But I'm looking at maybe by stoppage is plus 170. You get plus money on Perez by stoppage. That's not a bad bet, I think. Honestly, I'm looking at that right now because I think if he wins, it'll probably be by stoppage.
All right.
I like Schnell striking, but man, his chin is scary. I know, dude. He's been knocked out a lot, man. A lot of first round finishes, both records. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing I'm looking at. Glynn, just the fight doesn't go the distance, guys. Is plus money. It's plus 100, so it's even money. That's not a bad bet. I don't think this fight goes in 3 rounds. What do you think, Marcel?
Like I said, man, if Perez doesn't finish it, I see him winning a decision 100%, but I actually see him finishing it.
Yeah, that's not a bad bet, maybe, guys, to take that plus 100 on the finish. Just either guy getting a finish. That's not a bad bet, I don't think. It protects you in case Schnell gets a submission or something or knockout. So something I would look at anyways. Let's go to the next fight here. We got Miranda Maverick against Erin Blanchfield, and odds for this one, minus 137 Maverick, plus 117 for Blanchfield, the underdog, Marcel. What do you think about that, Marcel? Your girl's the underdog in this fight. What do you think?
This is actually your girl against my girl, right? So,
we'll talk about it in a second, but yeah.
You're super high on Maverick, and I think Maverick is a good fighter. I think this last loss against Macy Barber, complete bullshit. She won that fight, in my opinion. Split decision loss. If you look at Blanchfield should be still undefeated, and I say it every single time, man. That fight against Tracy Cortez, I didn't agree with that. I think she won that 2-1. Yeah, this is a great fight. It's actually very early in both girls' career to match them up against each other. This was actually Maverick against De La Rosa, I think, and it went to Maverick to Blanchfield. The thing is, I think Maverick is very good, very strong. I think Blanchfield is as well. But for me, Blanchfield is a more special athlete than Maverick, and maybe you don't agree with me on that, but I think Blanchfield has a higher ceiling than Maverick. I think Blanchfield within now and 2 years can be in the top 5 of the division, maybe in the top 3. And I'm going with Blanchfield. Yeah, I think we'll be super close. I'm going with a decision, but I don't see any girl getting a finish here. I think both are super tough, but I'm going with Blanchfield here, decision.
I think it was Macy Barber versus De La Rosa first, and then De La Rosa fell and Blanchfield stepped in, and then Barber fell and Maverick stepped in.
That's it.
Eventually, we get there. And to be honest, it's probably the fight that should have happened because, let's be honest, guys, Maverick should have beaten Macy Barber in that fight. Like, I think all of us thought that. I like both girls a lot, as you know, Marcel. I think they're both really good fighters. I hate they're being matched up, but I understand it because, again, this division, there's a lot of, good young prospects. And, the winner of this fight will get someone like, a Jess Sky or Cynthia Calvillo, I would assume. This is a big fight for both these girls, And I think especially for Maverick, it's a big fight because she technically lost her last fight. But I'll be honest with you, Marcel. I like both of them a lot, but I like Erin Blanchfield, I think, a little bit more, buddy. I think you've really convinced me on her, and I liked her too. But after seeing her, the way she destroyed Sarah Alpar, I think she can control this fight takes place because looking back at that Robertson fight, some of the grappling exchanges Robertson did well in them. Blanchfield's grappling, I think, is going to be the advantage in this fight for her. On the feet, her striking's not bad either. I think she can just kind of match Miranda everywhere. And also, again, she has the full camp, and Miranda's taking on short notice. So while I do think it's a competitive fight, Marcel, I think that the odds makers, they actually opened Blanchfield as the favorite, and the line flipped. I think the odds makers were right. I think Blanchfield should be favored slightly. And at plus money, I'll take her as an underdog in this fight, Marcel. So there we go. Erin Blanchfield, man, as an underdog. I think she wins a decision. That's what I'm going to say in this one.
Same.
The one time I picked against her, I'll say that was against Norma Dumont, but that was at 145.
I remember that.
That was it was 20 pounds heavier or something like that, or it was 135 and Norma missed weight. I think that's what happened. Anyways,
I was so happy that didn't happen. Actually,
she probably would have laid on top of her. Norma's a good fighter too. I'm kind of glad that didn't happen, but I think Blanchfield can get this job, guys. Let's get the comments. Rockwell, my girl Maverick can show. I mean, it's definitely possible. It's a close fight. It's close, but I'm leaning towards Blanchfield. Kevin says he's excited to see Blanchfield step up. I think both girls will be top 5. I think so too. They're both good. Josh Watson Lewis likes Blanchfield. You're gonna say Marcel.
Rockwell's gonna hate me, man. I'm picking up against all this.
I know. Me too. That's okay. Well, we'll see what the next one. Maybe we're all gonna have a unanimous pick in this one. But let's go to the next fight. Middleweights. Andre Muniz, another one of my guys, taking on Eric Anders. A lot of my guys are on this card, and my girls Marcel on this card. But this is a good fight, man. Muniz and Anders, and right now Andre Muniz minus 135, Eric Anders plus 115. What do you think, Sergio Pano or your boy? Who wins the fight?
I think it's kind of disrespectful to have Muniz and Perez on the early prelims, to be really honest, man. I think Muniz, after that Jacare win, that submission...
Let me stop you for 1 second. how disrespectful is it this guy fell to the top 15? Why did he fall to the top 15? He hasn't lost since he beat Jacare. Tell me why he's not in the top 15 anymore. I don't get it.
Idea, man. Same. I have no idea. It's just weird, I think he's a great fighter. We saw it so far. The Fabinski, the Jacare fight, the Arroyo fight wasn't amazing, but he won that fight. And he actually, I remember he was fighting Taylor Johnson in the Contender Series, and everybody was high on Taylor Johnson. I think Taylor Johnson was undefeated back then, and Nunes submitted him in like 90 seconds, I think. So, I mean, Nunes has looked really good so far, I think. If you look at Eric Anders, sometimes looks good, sometimes not, and has sometimes issues going to the later rounds, in my opinion. I'm all in on Nunes here, man. I would be super surprised if Anders gets it done. I also think it's a short notice fight for Anders. Nunes was supposed to fight Duplessis. So I'm fully on Nunes here, man. I'm thinking Nunes also might maybe pull off a submission somehow. So I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, dude, if you can submit Jacare, you can submit Eric Anders. But maybe a decision is more likely. I'm going with a decision, but he can pull off a submission going with a decision still.
Yeah, I mean, this fight it's an interesting fight, but I like Nunes. And here's the other thing: it's at middleweight too. Eric Anders' last fight was I think his last two fights were at light heavyweight, right? Mm-hmm. So he's going back down to middleweight on short notice. Kind of weird. I don't really understand this matchmaking. I'll be honest with you. I don't get it. I don't think I like Anders. He's a good fighter, but I don't think he deserved Andre Nunes. I think Andre deserved a top 15 guy, and I just kind of this one's making me scratch my head. Like he should have fought someone like a Brad Tavares or something. You know what I mean, Marcel? Like
it's kind of weird. It's still short notice, but it's weird for going for Jacare to Eric Anders. But yeah,
it seems like a step down a little bit too, even though Jacare is at the end of his career. But anyways, Eric Anders could win. I mean, he's obviously got some power. He's a big guy, but I just feel like Nunes is just better everywhere. Honestly, Marcel, I think he's the better grappler, obviously, and I think his striking's pretty good too. So you guys know me. I love this dude. I mean, I'm not going to stop picking against him now. I'm taking him against Eric Anders for sure. And at minus 135, it's not a bad price. You're getting a cheap price on him too. I thought the odds would be higher, Marcel. Right? Actually, yeah, the odds they're basically open at that too. So it's staying steady. I think there's value there, honestly, Marcel. I think it should be like 2-1. Minus 135 is not a bad line, I think. Anyways, we'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. Tristan, hey Tristan, what's up, man? Nunes deserves top 15 more than Shabbat, 100%. Edmund in the top 15 is crazy. I mean, I say this as a guy who used to really like him, but 3-fight losing streak, get him out of there. Used to like Anders a lot, almost auto fade. Hard to pick against Nunes. I agree. I mean, I don't know how you pick against him. Hey, Rock to work. What's going on, man? He says, yeah, boys, a bully fighter with questionable IQ who needs his fight to lose, 100%. Yeah, I agree completely. Nothing ever shocks me in the sport, but I would be surprised, honestly, if Anders won the fight. So I like Nunes a lot in this one. And you guys all seem to like him too. Nunes by sub. Yeah, I think it's possible. The guy's, I mean, look what he did. Who does that to Jacare, Marcel? Tell me.
Exactly, nobody.
That was the first time he's been submitted, I think, right? Yeah. Jacare was the first time, yeah. Anders has never been submitted, but I think this could be the time where he does get submitted. Even not though, I think Nunes can surprise people on the feet too. This guy's good, man.
I mean, if you would say before a fight, before Jacare got finished, and Nunes is fighting both Anders or Jacare, and what fight would he likely get the submission?
Yeah, no, right? Crazy. So. You're right. And it's not like Anders is not a young guy either. He's not Jacare's age, but Anders is he's 34 years old, so he's not like the youngest guy either. All right, let's go to the next fight here. Jordan Ray against Bruno Silva, Marcel. Bruno Silva is one of the biggest favorites in the card, minus 345. Jordan Ray plus 285. I feel like this is it's almost a bit more difficult fight than Julian Marquez in some ways that Ray was supposed to fight. What do you think, Marcel? The odds say he's going to probably get knocked out again. What do you think?
It's kind of a weird fight, because Bruno Silva, in this last fight, he got dominated by Andrew Sanchez and still got the finish late in the third round, and put it out. Against Wellington Turman did good in the beginning, and then he stopped Wellington Turman late in the round one, So it's like he can overcome adversity. If you look at Jordan Wright, I think he had a great UFC debut against Ike Villanueva. Then lost to Buckley, and then Pickett. Yeah, man, he did very well in that fight. So he's 2-1 in the UFC. The Contender Series fight against Anthony Hernandez, I still remember it. That got overturned to a no contest, right? But he got knocked out in that one. Yeah, man, I think likely. So as long Wright will keep standing and doesn't go to the ground because Silva has difficulties with getting to the ground, I think Silva will probably land a knockout shot again. So I'm going with Silva here, and I think it will be early in the fight, probably first round. And it's not because I think Wright sucks or whatever, but I just think both guys going to trade shots, and I think Silva will be the one coming out victorious.
Yeah, you know what? I have to agree with this one. As someone who bet on Andrew Sanchez, that was frustrating, man, honestly, because 7 takedowns, guys. You saw what happened. He just completely gassed out and got KO'd again. And then he's cut now by the UFC, right? Which is crazy. I just don't see Wright having that same grappling threat. Like he's a decent grappler, but he's not great like Andrew Sanchez is. And it's Jordan Wright's gas tank, I think, is questionable too, Marcel. Like he's a fast starter. He's one of those guys that goes for the knockout quickly. Bruno Silva, like he's a pretty tough guy to finish, I think. I feel like it's more likely he gets the finish. So it's possible Wright could catch him, but I'm not willing to risk the money on the underdog here. I'm going to go with Bruno Silva by knockout too, Marcel. And I just looked at the first round because I was thinking the exact same thing that you had, and it's plus 210. So
I would stay away far from this fight, dude. Far.
It's not like I don't love Silva at minus 345, guys, by any means, but he should win the fight. He should knock out Jordan Wright. Jordan's got some durability issues, so he should win the fight. Let me get these comments. Alan likes Muniz as well. Me too. Live bet opportunity. It's 1-1 going in third. Which fight? The Wright fight? Or with Silva? Or are you talking about the Muniz?
I think he was talking about Anders.
Anders, okay, yeah, fair enough. Speaking of Wright, I mean, it's possible with Kristen, honestly, because he's a fast starter. It's possible. Guida subbed him multiple times. Yeah, exactly. Anything can happen in the sport. We all know that. We saw Rodolfo Vieira get subbed by Hernandez, right? The guy we just talked about. So the first round knockout. I'm thinking so too, guys. That's what I'm thinking. Like, so I wouldn't touch it with betting perspective. I agree, Hype MMA. I think the odds are too high, man. Minus 345 is high, He should win, though. He should win. And again, DraftKings, he's a guy you want to look at too, I think, because he's got the power. Let's go to the heavyweights now, Marcel. Looking forward to talking about this one. Augusto Sakai against Tai Tuivasa. Pick 'em odds, Marcel, minus 110 each. And I'll start with this one. I'm surprised by these odds. I love Tai Tuivasa in this fight, guys. I think he knocks him out. I think he knocks Augusto Sakai out. Tai's looked amazing lately. He's really improved, I think. And Sakai's not really a grappler, right? So how does he win? Just knocks out Tai? I don't think so. I think Tai's going to knock him out in the first round, Marcel. I love Tai Tuivasa at minus 110. I'm just saying right now, guys, he's a guy I really, really like in the spot. I think he wins by first round knockout, which is Tai Tuivasa in round 1 knockout is plus 388. So that's pretty crazy. But I think he knocks him on the first round. I love Tai Tuivasa in this one. What about you, Marcel?
I would bet on that. Yeah, I mean that's
crazy. Tell me what's with the odds, guys. You tell me. I'm just surprised it's like this. Like, I mean, I don't think it should be like more than 2-1 or anything like that. But
it's likely the most. It's likely the most common sense outcome, in my opinion. If you pick Tuivasa here, and I think as well, man, Sakai still hasn't impressed me at all in the UFC, to be really honest. And Tai Tuivasa, he had some bad moments, and you also saw he got tagged against Greg Hardy, but he overcame adversity. I keep saying that, and he won the fight with a knockout, and I think as long as standing, and we know Tuivasa can also stand up if he goes to the ground,
Mm-hmm.
So if Sakai tries to get him to the ground, he still has to put him away, and I don't think Tuivasa or Sakai will put him away at all. So Tuivasa has chance for 15 minutes to knock him out, and I see it happening probably in the first round.
I think he knocks him out too. I'm honestly surprised to pick him fight. Like, I think there's good value here on Tuivasa. It's a heavyweight fight. You never know, but he's a guy I would definitely throw a unit on for sure. Let's get some comments here. Raw Torque. Smash Time likes, hell yeah, man. Do it, guys. Need a shoey. Hey, maybe if Tai wins by knockout, Marcel will do a shoey on the show. I'm not doing one, though. But maybe Marcel
I still have to do one, man.
You owe someone one. Maybe you'll do it in the show. I think you got to do it live on here, man. You got to. Like, if you're going to do it, I don't want you doing it and being like, yo, guys, I did a shoey. You got to do it in the podcast and show us all. Okay?
You know what it is, man? I have a Dutch podcast. I have a podcast with Gilbert Eivel and Dennis Corman. And we do picks for the last 3 UFC fights for every event. And Gilbert is like on top, like 50 points in front. And we said the guys who are losing have to do a shoey at the end of the year. So I'm fucked. I'm just fucked.
Yeah, let me get these comments. Andre's here. One of my favorite guys, Andres. What's going on, man? Hope everything's well with you, buddy. Glenn says not to throw to base. The last one for T point was against Starlovsky. I think Greg Hardy's decent, man. I don't think he's bad at all. I mean, he's not great, but I don't think he's bad. Sakai Sakai knocked out Tabura, which was a good win, I guess.
I think we have to put in place the athlete Greg Hardy and the person Greg Hardy. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Greg Hardy's not a bad fighter. He's decent. Oh, can you guys hear?
No, it's okay. No, it's okay.
All right, cool. I think he's decent, Marcel. You know, he's not great, but I would say he's honestly, like, I don't think it's a bad win at all. I think it's decent. Hope Tuvesa knocks him out. Yeah, I think it's possible. Here's another comment. Hype MMA. Ty scared me at the Greg Hardy fight, but Sakai's volume puncher. I see a decision early finish. Ty can't get him out. Possible. I'm just not really that high in Augusto Sakai. I'll be honest with you, Marcel. Like, I'm really not. He's a big dude, though. He is going to be a bigger guy. I will say that. I saw him in Brazil when I was there for that card a few years ago, Marcel. I'm a big person. He's even bigger than me. You know what I mean? Like, he's a big dude. So
he is one of those guys at heavyweight were ranked in top 10, like Shamil Abdurakhimov. You want to fight if you're not in the top 10. You know what I mean? Yeah,
he's a winnable fight. He's definitely a winnable fight, and I think the UFC is giving Ty a winnable fight here.
Mm-hmm.
Tristan likes the under 2.5, and he's talking about the Rosenstruck fight. Rosenstruck's a low volume guy too, and as someone that night I had Rosenstruck as that last guy in my DraftKings team. I came in 4th place out of like 30,000 people. I needed him to win by knockout, and he did the job, but he didn't get going until that last 10 seconds. Literally 10 seconds, he threw his first punch. Ty's a fast starter. Ty will land punches early in the fight. I don't think he's going to wait until 10 seconds left because he's not going to do the frozen strike. We talk Marcel, the frozen strike, right? He just stands there.
Frozen strike, what the hell? I haven't heard that before.
You got to use that's what I started calling it now because you just stand. It's more like Woodley, right? The frozen hands. Big Bird, what's going on, man? He says Sakai looks scared. He sure did, didn't he? It was a bad performance. Yeah, the Australian guys for sure. I mean, it seems like they're getting more training, and I heard that next year it's gonna be way more open. But you're right, it's a good question. Although in this case, I don't know how much he needs. I mean, it's a heavyweight fight. You know what I mean, Marcel? He just needs to land that punch. So, Ty first round knockout, dude. That's what I'm thinking too, Rockball. That's what I'm looking at too. I think there's good value in that prop. Like, not every book's gonna have that prop, guys. But if you do have a book that says Tuvesa by first round knockout, you get like plus 400. That's the most likely outcome on this fight, is it not, Marcel? It really is.
If you pick Tuivasa, then it is, yeah, for sure, yeah.
All right, let's go to the next fight. Pedro Munoz against Dominic Cruz, minus 110 each, Marcel. Another pick-up fight, another what do you call it? A nightmare fight to pick, Marcel. That's what you call these ones, or maybe it's not. I don't know. Honestly, what do you think of this one, man?
I'm actually pretty convinced in this one, man. I think. Yeah, it sounds disrespectful, but I think Dominic Cruz's best days are gone, to be really honest. Although he didn't look bad against Casey Kenny, dude. But Pedro Munoz, I still think Pedro Munoz has a lot to give to the division, you know. His loss against Edgar, I like Edgar, but it was bullshit in my opinion. And his loss against Aldo, he lost that fight against Aldo, but it was a competitive fight, you know. The thing is, I think Pedro Munoz can do work for 3 rounds, and Cruz, in my opinion, still the greatest of all time in bantamweight, you know, but is not anymore on the top level that he need to be on top of the division. So I'm going with Munoz here. I think Munoz wins the decision here.
Well, we're on the same page with this one then. I like Munoz too by decision. There you go. So we're on the same page. I wasn't sure you were going to think on this one because the odds obviously are close. I'm with you on Dominic Cruz. I'm just not sold on the guy anymore. I'm really not. I mean, even the Casey Kenny fight was super close. Mm-hmm. Kenny, you know, basically it came down to like a late takedown that won him the fight. That's all it came down to. Munoz, I don't think will be taken down. It's going to be a stand-up fight. Munoz is, to me, he's going to have more volume on the feet. He's going to throw more kicks. He's just going to land more. You know, I'm going to throw more. And I think that's good for the judges. Cruz, obviously, very, very good defensively, hard to hit, but, you know, he's not the same Cruz as he used to be. I think it's a competitive fight, Marcel, but I think Munoz will win a decision. So that's my pick in this one, guys. Munoz by decision. What is that? Let me take a look. Plus 250? Holy shit. I didn't realize it was that. I think that's the most likely outcome here. Even Cruz by decision plus 200 is possible.
Yeah,
I think this
most possible, yeah.
Marcel, I think this fight goes the distance. I don't see a finish in this fight. Yeah, I don't see a finish in this one. But man, Munoz by decision at plus 250 is very tempting. I got to be honest with you guys. So that's what I'm thinking. Let's get some comments here. Cruz to answer the decision. Possible for sure. Like Dom, slightly worried, slightly just because Pedro's quite stationary. Yeah, I know that's the thing. Pedro, fun striker, but you're right. He's got some issues, man. That's why I'm with Aldo, right? He just stood there and got picked apart, so it's possible.
But that's Aldo, right?
Yeah. How much emphasis do you guys place on seeing the weigh-ins and face-offs? I mean, I always want to see that stuff, but you know, it's like a second. It's like the last thing I look at, obviously, before I put my picks in. So there's some importance to it, but I'm more the weight, like. But Like I'm gonna. It just depends. Like Cody Garbrandt's a guy I'm gonna really look at this weekend. For instance. You know what I mean, Marcel? Exactly, it just depends on the fight. Like
so it depends on the fighter.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to say. So there you go.
I feel like if you see somebody shaky on the scale, like you saw Aspen last time out, you know, that's something that's concerning.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. That's something you can fade. Yeah, I agree.
But normally we think about our picks before, you know. I don't make many changes.
Same here, but again, you know, it does come into play. But you're right, Marcel. It's a lot. It's not like the most important thing. The most important thing for me would be like, you know, how they match up against each other stylistically. You know, like that's pretty much the most important thing in MMA. Rockwell, Dom's hand-picked this fight. Yeah, that's the thing. Dom also hand-picked Casey Kenny, right? So, and he won that fight. So I think he did. I think he definitely talks to Sean Shelby, McMahon. Like, this is the fight I want. You know, and it's kind of weird that he didn't end up fighting O'Malley because that's the fight, you know, they were calling each other for months ago, Marcel, after they both won earlier this year. And they're fighting on the same card, but they're not. Anyways, Cruz's style. But he could still ego to split. It's possible. Kai Kara. We'll talk about him in a few minutes. All right, let's go to the next fight here. Final prelim fight. Dan Ige versus Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett minus 160. Dan Ige plus 140. Give my boy Cole Michelle. You interview both guys. And I can't wait for this fight. I feel like this is another fight flying under the radar. I think this could be a low-key fight of the night. These guys are two guys that love to stand and bang. Fucking love this fight, Marcel. Give me your thoughts on it, man.
Yeah, man, it's such a difficult one, I think. Josh Emmett was supposed to fight, I think, Arnold Allen on this card.
Yep.
But Allen got injured, and then Ige took the fight. And that fight was never officially announced by anybody that Emmett against Arnold Allen. I think Mike Heck did in his article. Yeah, I mean, Josh Emmett, long injury again. You know, last fight against Shane Burgos, very competitive fight. Emmett won that fight. Fight of the night as well. I mean, we all know Emmett has power, you know, many of his fights ending in KOs. Before that, winning against Marcel Bektic, Michael Johnson, losing to Jeremy Stevens. That's a long time ago, actually. And he got like fractures in his face, I think, from it. Where some, I still think some really unnecessary punches from Jeremy and those late.
Oh, yeah. I think it was like a late elbow, wasn't it? Like he threw in the ground or something. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. And then Ige, he lost his last fight against Chan Sung Jung. I mean, I think I don't know if I picked him in the fight. I think I did. I'm not sure. Before that quick knockout over Gavin Tucker, and we all remember the Cater fight in Abu Dhabi, which was for Cater. I think Ige only won one round, if I'm correct. I'm not sure. Before that one, the Barboza fight, the split one. I think Barboza actually won that fight, but Ige got it. It's super difficult, man. I don't know how Emmett returns from his injuries. You know what I mean? Because Emmett has dealt with lots of injuries during his career, and the thing is, how does he return here? If he returns the Emmett that fought against Burgos, he likely wins this fight, you know. But does he come back as that Emmett? I don't know. But I have to give him the benefit of the doubt, you know. And I think Emmett will win. I'm going with a decision here, but I think it will be a very fun fight, and it's a possibility for a fight of the night.
I like Emmett too, man. As long as he's healthy, he wins this fight. Because like, how does Danny beat him? How does he win? He's not going to take him down. Mm-hmm. He's going to have to outstrike this guy for 3 rounds and basically win the decision because he's not going to, I don't think, knock out Josh Emmett. Jeremy Stevens did, but that's Jeremy Stevens.
The only thing what I say, if he is not, if he's still with injuries, isn't coming back like he was before, you know?
It's kind of like that Ponzinibbio Jing Liang fight, like earlier this year, right? Yeah, where he came back, he was hurt, came back for that long injury, and then next fight looked good. Anyways, I like Emmett. I think he wins the fight, guys. I really like him here, actually. I think, you know, hopefully I'm just not like underselling the fact he did miss a year and a half, because usually I don't like betting on guys that have missed that much time, but I just think he's such a better fighter, honestly, Marcel. And I say that as someone who thinks Danny is decent, but to me, there is a difference between these guys like Josh Emmett and the rest of these top elite guys in this division, and a guy like Danny, who's like, you know, top 15 guy. I think Emmett's the real deal, man. Like, this guy's been nothing but impressive. Huge power, really durable guy, good wrestling, good camp, team alpha male, everything I like about him, man. I just don't really see Dan Ige having a path to victory in the fight, Marcel, because I don't think he can take him down. He can't sub him. And on the feet, you know, again, I don't think he knocks him out, so he's going to have to win on points for 50 minutes. Don't see that happening. Yeah, I like Josh Emmett, man. Let's go with Josh Emmett here. That's more calm. Yeah. Do you guys think Emmett will show up at any age in this fight? I hope not. I mean, he's an older guy, though. He's 36. I mean, you have to bring it up. I should definitely mention that. He's 36. He's not young.
That's pretty much what we're saying. With
exactly. The injuries and the layoff, right? Yeah. But he is 36, you know, and this division is meant for younger guys, right? But you know, I think Dan is, I think he's 30 or 31. He's 30, so he's 6 years younger. I just think Emmett's the better fighter, though. I mean, usually I will fade the older guy in a close fight, but I just think Emmett's better, like everywhere. Emmett's the hardest hitting small guy I've ever seen. You know what's crazy, man? They used to say Emmett was like this huge knockout guy, and I'm like, no, he's not. Like, where's these knockout? Where they keep calling him this? And then he started knocking everyone out, and I was like, okay, I'm wrong about it. I remember there was one fight where I think it was the Michael Johnson fight. Actually.
Michael Johnson won third round, yeah.
Because everyone's like, oh, he's such a knockout artist, and he wasn't knocking him out. I'm like, just because you knocked out Lamas doesn't mean anything. Then he knocks out Johnson, then he knocks out Becton. So I'm like, all right, I'll shut up now. This guy definitely's got some power. He's a beast. Emmett by violence. Hope the cardio holds up. I think it will. I got Emmett. Do you think he'll mix in some takedowns? I think it'd be smart, I think it'd be smart, but I think it's going to stay on the feet for the most part, guys. A lot of money on Egan. Oh, geez. Tristan, you like, you're saying other people bet on. Yeah, I saw that the lines come down. I guess it's because of the layoff, but I like Emmett, man. Emmett threw 250 strikes against Burgos, and Burgos is a better fighter than Dan. He beat him, right? Cleanly. Ige loads up a lot. Ige's decent, but you're right. I mean, striking is not, it's decent. I don't think it's amazing. Josh Emmett just has that, like, it's crazy. He just throws a punch and he knocks you out, Marcel. Like, it's almost like, it's unreal how much power the guy really does have. Like, I was wrong about him, man. Like, he does have a lot of power. Anyways, all right, main card. Let's do it, guys. 5 fights in the pay-per-view. This is a good card, man. And the first fight of the night, you got the Sugar Show, Sean O'Malley against Raleigh and Paiva. Awesome fight. Minus 280, Sean O'Malley, plus 240, Raleigh and Paiva. What do you think, man?
Yeah, this is actually a fun matchup, If you look at Sean O'Malley, he's on a 2-fight win streak. Win over Almeida, dominated that fight. And the Moutinho fight, he dominated as well. And I think Herb Dean had some money on the late stoppage or something. I don't know. Because that fight, complete bullshit stoppage. If you wanted to stop that fight, you could have stopped that like 5 minutes earlier, but you didn't, Still good performance from Sean O'Malley. Only one loss in his record against Marlon Vera from that kick to the back of the knee where he didn't felt his or he couldn't stand on his leg and he got finished later. If you look at Paiva, 3-0 right now, 3-0 in his last 3 fights. Before that, he lost his first 2 fights. Loss, I gotta say, because that loss against Kai Kara France was a robbery in my opinion. After that, got stopped due to a cut. 3 wins. Only the Zalga Zumagulov fight was kind of sketchy, I think, and the Phillip fight was very close as well. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, people are like, this is the biggest test for William Paiva so far. But it's also the biggest test for Sean O'Malley so far, I think, at the same time, And William Paiva has been through a lot in his life. You guys have to look back on his story. I'm not gonna tell it here all, but let's do the stuff. O'Malley has to try to stop him, I think, because we saw O'Malley. He doesn't get really better in the later rounds, in my opinion, and he still can win those fights in the later rounds, but he doesn't really get anything better, and he slows down as well. And Paiva has a better ground game than many people expect, and if Paiva can implement his ground game to Sean O'Malley might be in trouble here. So I'm going with the decision for Raleigh and Paiva, honestly, man. I think Paiva wins the fight.
Yeah, Paiva is a good fighter, man. He's solid. He trains at a good camp, Team Alpha Male, right? So those guys are hot right now. I don't think he should have beat Kyler Phillips. I'll tell you right now. That should have been a draw, I believe. The numbers basically say that too. I don't agree with the judges in that fight. So yeah, for me, it's weird because I actually think that Kyler Phillips is actually a slightly better fighter than Sean O'Malley. So the fact that this guy beat him should make me think that I'm going to pick him, right? But I just can't, because I don't really think he won that fight. And Sean O'Malley, to me, I feel like it's the UFC, you have to fight whoever, right? But it sure seems like they give him fights that he can win. And I feel like he's going to win this fight too, Marcel. I feel like it's a hand-picked fight for him to get to that top 15 spot. And I think it's possible he stops the guy too. Marcel, I think it's possible. If not, he's going to have to work for that decision. I'll tell you that right now, because Paiva's a dog. He's going to keep coming after him for 50 minutes. But how do you not pick O'Malley? Like, how do you not pick him? What?
I do.
You didn't
pick him.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I got to pick him, though, Marcel, because to me, I think he's the better striker, and I think that's what it comes down to. It's going to be on the feet, and I think it's the volume, and maybe knocks him out. So you thinking a decision or knockout? What are you thinking for your guy?
Yeah, decision. I think he will implement his ground game. Paiva.
Be smart. It'd be smart. You know, I'll tell you this right now. Sean O'Malley loses this fight. This is horrible for his stock. You know, find the guy kind of annoying. This whole unranked champion, all this garbage. Like it's just stupid. Like, do you find someone that fight someone ranked? Like he is finally fighting someone ranked, but I don't agree with that. I don't agree with people saying, "Oh, give him a new contract, then he'll fight someone ranked." Come on, guys. Every fighter will say that. Then, pardon?
Paiva ain't ranked anymore, right?
He's not 15? Oh, I thought he was.
No, Song Yadong is now ranked.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. So, yeah, anyways, I think O'Malley's going to win this one. We get the comments, guys. Let's see here. Is there value in Paiva plus 240? Marcel seems to think so. Almeida and Martino are levels below Paiva. I agree with that, too. They're not that good. How good are Paiva's leg kicks? I don't know. Are they... They're okay. I don't know. I think he's more of like a hands guy, right? More of like striking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like punching, I should say, boxing. Rowling could win if you bully Sugar. However, I don't see Rowling as that guy, third round finish with Sugar, if possible. Talking about Paiva's girlfriend passing away.
Yeah, she actually didn't really. She got actually killed. She got. They were on a. I think they were in a bar, and there were problems, and they went away to home, and a car struck them from behind on purpose, and she got killed in that accident.
Yeah, that's just terrible. Poor guy. That's horrible. Other comments: Paiva showed frailty against Philip. O'Malley's better balance than Phillips. Won't let Paiva off the hook. Kind of thinking so too. Paiva grounded pound. So you guys are liking Paiva. It's not. I don't think it's a bad pick. I think the odds are high. O'Malley's a douche. That's so funny. Of course, Kevin. Who knows O'Malley's hands 100%. Paiva's overall MMA games. You know, it is an MMA fight. You're right, Tristan. I agree with that. Plus money goes the distance, looking good. That's possible too. So there's a cash cow, slow build. Probably goes to Dudges. Paiva's hittable. My decision needs to step up. Yeah. Should be a good fight, though. I'll tell you that right now. But I'm leaning towards O'Malley. All right. And Marcel's the other way. So there you go, Paiva. And that's your second underdog pick, I believe, after Blanchfield, who you both had. So there you go. All right. Let's go to the next fight here, guys. Kai Kara-France against Cody Garbrandt. This is a good fight here. We got No Love against Don't Blink. So it should be a fun one, Marcel. Minus 135, Cody Garbrandt. Kai Kara-France plus 115. I'm going to start with my pick in this one, Marcel. Now it's my turn to pick an underdog. I went with the underdog here, Marcel, Kai Kara-France. So this is an interesting fight. It's definitely not an easy one to call. My initial lean was towards Cody, but honestly, like I don't trust him at all, guys, anymore. Because if you look at the numbers, he's just been outstruck and knocked down so many times in his last couple of fights. Other than the Sunsell fight, which he looked amazing, and he's looked pretty bad. And I know he fought Dillashaw, he was on EPO, but the Nunes fight got dragged to a war. He didn't look good against Rob Font either. To me, the last really great, besides the Sunsell knockout, which was amazing, but the last great performance was Dominic Cruz in 2016, a long time ago. I don't trust this guy going down to 125. I feel like it's going to be a hard wake-up for him. But again, it's something I want to look at on Friday. I really want to watch his weigh-in. It just feels like this guy is going to have a hard time to cut this weight. And he's a guy with durability who's also already bad. And now he's going down to this weight class. I don't know. Because Kara-France is a knockout guy, right? He's got power. Showed that in his last fight. I don't think he's an amazing fighter by any means, Marcel, but I think stylistically matches up decently because Garbrandt's not really a wrestler, right? I think the key to being France was just to take him down or get him to the ground like Royval did, submit him, right? I don't think Garbrandt's really going to – he could. If he's smart, I think he shoots and just holds him to the ground, but I don't think he will. I think it's going to take place on the feet. And I think Cody gets knocked out again, Marcel, so I'm going to go with Kai Kara-France here, man. Kai Kara-France – by knockout, the odds plus 360. It's not bad, but I think he's got a good chance to knock him out, honestly. What do you think, man?
You know how much I love flyweight, but this fucking fight shouldn't be on the main card, in my opinion. It's also my third underdog pick of the night here.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm also on Kai Kara-France because I don't trust Cody's chin at all. You know, I see him cutting down to flyweight. I saw a picture of his, and it actually didn't look. I shouldn't talk about anybody's body, to be honest. But it didn't look healthy at all, in my opinion. You know, it actually he looked kind of scary. He looked like kind of McGregor-ish at 145 when he's cutting weight. That's how it kind of looked, you know. And I was really concerned when I saw that. Still, I think he can give him a good matchup, but I'm on Kara-France, man. I think if he doesn't stop him, he wins the decision. So I'm going with a decision here for Kai Kara-France. And I don't even think that Kai Kara-France is that big of a prospect in the division. You know, I think he's a solid top 10 guy, but I don't see him going anywhere near the top, to be really honest.
He's a gatekeeper, basically. You know, that's what they're doing. They're basically like, can you beat this guy? Because he's like, he's like a top 10 guy, but can you beat him?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't, then there's no future for you at flyweight, anyways. I don't know. I don't trust Cody's chin. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Let's get these comments, guys. What do you think will happen to Cody's chin? Well, I just told you. I think he gets knocked out. Probably. A decision. He's going to get dropped, I think, once in this fight at least. I'll tell you that right now. Cody's a favorite just off his name. That is true. And he could still win the fight, but I agree. It's because he's the former champion. He's got a big name. Andre likes to pick too. No love off the bare knuckle. You know what? That's probably a good spot for him, you know, because he's more of a stand-up guy. Let's see. Plus 360 by knockout. Yeah. I think it's possible, man. No love. Sorry. Favorite despite never fighting at the weight. That is kind of surprising, Julian, but he's usually the favorite. You know, fans like the guy. He's a big star for the UFC. So I kind of get it. Remember, that stuff's baked into the line, the hype and stuff. Kai does have a very accurate right hand. It's really accurate. Like, look at the last fight. Bontarine had him in that body triangle for like 4.5 minutes, and he just needed one punch to brutally finish him. Remember that? He flatlined the guy. Bontarine fell down, and he just face planted or whatever. Kai's going to come out hot. I think so, too. I was actually in Vegas 2 years ago when he fought Moreno. That fight was really close, guys. Like, and Moreno's the champ, right? Again, it was a while ago, but he can hold his own against anyone. And I just feel like his chin's going to be decent. All right. 3 fights left. Let's go to the next fight. Welterweights, Santiago Ponzinibbio and Jeff Neal. Another close fight. The line is moving finally. It was basically a pick 'em all week. Now it's starting to move towards Ponzinibbio. Minus 125. Jeff Neal plus 105. What are your thoughts on this one, man?
So I think it's a super close fight. The thing is with Jeff Neal, he was in the news, not in a very positive way, right? Last week, we all know that. We can all watch that back. The thing is, I think it's super close fight. We saw Ponzinibbio last time out against Baeza, great fight of the night. Won that fight before that. Got finished by Li Jingliang, something I didn't see happening, to be really honest. Jeff Neal, he lost his last two. He lost against Stephen Thompson, very one-sided, and he lost to Magny. Good first round, but second and third round not really good. I'm not off the Jeff Neal bandwagon, but I'm still thinking Ponzinibbio wins the fight. I'm going with a decision win for Santiago here.
So let's honestly, I have the same thought as you, man. This is disappointing because I'm a huge Jeff Neal fan. And I was definitely expecting to pick him, but this baggage from outside the octagon, how could it not affect him? The guy was just arrested for DWI and for weapons charges because apparently he was intoxicated, had a weapon in his car, which is a crime.
Western's DWI.
Driving while intoxicated. So
while intoxicated.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. There's also DUI. It's similar.
Yeah, that's what I know.
Yeah. So it's just that's what they call it there. So I feel like, man, it just that the baggage kind of bothers me a little bit. Anyways, I feel like it's a great fight. I just wish that didn't happen, Marcel, because I think I'd be more hyped for it if anything. I think it's close. I'm just leaning a little bit towards Ponzinibbio because I feel like he can outstrike him kind of from the outside, Marcel. That's what I'm thinking. Jeff, I love Jeff, man. And I just talked about that Care France and Moreno fight. I saw him fight Mike Perry that night, knocked him out. I'm like, damn, this guy's going to be the next big thing, and just he's kind of fallen off since then, Marcel. He's barely fought. The 2 times he's fought, he's looked pretty awful, in my opinion. Not sure what happened to this guy. I mean, he comes from a great camp at Fortis. He's a guy with huge power. He's got submissions. Just to me, it looks like he's on a slight decline. I will say that I also thought that about Ponzinibbio's last fight. He proved me wrong. So, against Baeza. But I think, Ponzinibbio, we talked about earlier with that long layoff against when he came back against Jingliang, Marcel. He just didn't look himself, but he looked more of himself. I think the longer that fight went by Baeza, it looked really good in that third round, and I think the momentum can kind of carry him through here. So I'm leaning towards Ponzinibbio to win a decision, guys, but not really a fight I'm interested in betting on, Marcel. To be honest with you, I think it's pretty competitive.
It's super close, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get these comments, guys. Oops, where is it? All right. Isn't it weird that Neal's still fighting? No, because he's out. He's out. Just like, hey, Tajik Base here. What's going on, man? No, sure, his drug tax clean. He'll be off the hook and clean gun possession. That is true. The thing, the gun charge is because he was allegedly DUI or driving while intoxicated. I think he has a gun license. It's not like he had an illegal gun. but you can't have it when you're committing another crime. You can't have a gun or something like that.
Yeah.
But again, it's all alleged. Got to remember, just because you see something doesn't mean it's exactly what it says in the media. We don't know if he was like, if he smoked a joint. We don't know if he was completely drunk. We really don't know.
Should be super. With that,
we have no idea. There's no details. But I do think it's never a good thing when a guy just was arrested. Now he's fighting. Like, remember when Jeremy Stevens fought Yves Edwards? He went to jail and he got knocked out the next his career, first time in his career. Never know, guys. I mean, every fight's different. There's just something to keep in mind. Should be easier pawns. It doesn't overextend like the leech. Let's see here. It's access to you and Thanksgiving, probably a beer with the fam. You never know, man. If it's only one beer, Zach, then he wouldn't have blown over though, right? So, although his lawyer says he blew under. So again, we don't know all the details, right? Let's see here, Glenn. I can forgive the pawns loss coming up 2 years. Pawns to win. Yeah, I kind of agree with that too, man. That's the thing. Like I think I oversold that loss to Jingli at the time because I totally thought Baez was winning. And I think beating Baez was a good one. That's what I'm thinking. Ponzi by decision as well. Losing to one boy is excusable. Magny makes everyone look bad. It's not like you lost to bad guys. You're right, man. But Ponzinibbio hasn't really lost to bad guys, and again, he's been really consistent in the UFC over the years. He's been a great fighter. All right, Mark. So let's go to the last two fights, man. We got the co-main event: Amanda Nunes versus Julianna Pena. I don't think we need to spend too much time on this one, man. We got minus 900 favor here against the plus 600 underdog. I mean, obviously, we're both going to pick Amanda Nunes. I think the question is, how does she finish the fight? Because I think she finishes it, and it's just like, is it submission or is it knockout? Because you got knockout at minus 140, but you got submission at plus 400. What are you thinking, Marcel?
These odds, as Adam calls those, always Bellator odds. So we have Amanda Nunes against Julianna Pena. One of the most undeserved title shots in UFC history here for Julianna Pena, coming off a win over Sarah McMahon. Losing to Jermaine Durandamy before that via submission in the third round should have given you a title shot at all. I still think if you should fight Nunez at 135, you should go at least through or Holm or Durandamy, one of the two. And we all know that nobody else will get a title shot in that case. So Nunez, first round knockout. I think she tags her. She puts her out. TKO, ground and pound. And no disrespect to Pena. Pena's a good fighter, but she's not close to Nunez, in my opinion. And also, maybe...
you think first round, eh?
Yeah, she's bragging about her ground game. She got finished by Jermaine Durandamy, who isn't even great on the ground. She trains a lot on the ground with Dwayne van Helvoort in the Netherlands, but she's not known for a ground game. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely going with Amanda. There is no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm picking her too. I mean, everyone's going to pick her, right? Like, I don't see Pena winning. Because the only path for Pena is to hold her down for 5 rounds. That's not going to happen, I don't think. I don't really see her being able to mix it up enough, because on the feet, I just think, she's going to be outgunned and on the ground.
Dude.
While she could have some success on the top, Marcel, I think eventually she'll probably, give up her neck and get choked out or something, or give up her arm. Go ahead.
I mean, Amanda Nunes completely dominated Jermaine Durandamy on the ground, and she had difficulties with her standing up, but she completely dominated her on the ground.
I know.
Pena got submitted.
I was at that fight too. That was on that same card I was talking about. Every fighter I saw on that card is on this one. Exactly. She has plan B. She has plan A. She has everything. So
yeah.
Again, man is going to win the fight, but is it knockout or submission? I don't know. I mean, plus 400 submission is kind of tempting. I'm not going to lie.
I understand. Yeah.
Because again, Julianna has been submitted a few times. But, if man is smart, she's going to keep, and she is a smart fighter, she's going to keep on the feet, just leg kick her, and then go for the knockout probably. Maybe she finishes with low kicks like she did to Baszler. Possible. Get these comments here. Man by knockout. Yeah, Pena has been talking a lot of smack. Years by sub at plus 350, years around 1 plus 130, more bettable lines. There's some value here still in Amanda Nunes for sure, because I think the round props or like a specific prop would be the way to go. I just think I do think there's some value on the submission prop at 4-1 personally. Amanda by sub, I'm kind of thinking it's possible, but again, maybe she won't even want to go to the ground with her at all and just finish her quick. All right, let's go to the main event, Marcel. Can't wait to talk about this one with you, man. Really curious to hear your thoughts, and you guys chime in the chat too. I'd like to hear what other people think about this fight. So we got obviously Dustin Poirier taking on Charles Oliveira, who's the champ, but he's the underdog. We got Poirier minus 160. Oliveira plus 140 is the underdog as the champ, which is a rare thing in the UFC, obviously, but it's understandable, I think, because, Poirier's beat Conor twice. I mean, those are big wins, and obviously a lot of this stuff, as you guys know, is hype caked in these lines. So I'm not surprised at the favorite, but it's a very interesting fight. Marcel, give me your thoughts on the main event of UFC 269.
Yeah, this is the fight everybody wanted to see, right? This is the fight between the guy we should have fought for the title already, again, and the guy who is the champion right now. And I hate it when people say Charles is just a title holder. He's a champion, man. And I mean, he deservedly is the champion, And many people it's like Poirier is actually the champion. No, he isn't. He has to still prove that. So Poirier, yeah, he won 3 fights against Hooker after the Khabib fight against Hooker and twice against McGregor. Gotta be honest, man. In those McGregor fights, he had difficulties until he took over and he finished McGregor. And I'm talking definitely about the first fight. The Charles Oliveira, we remember him against Chandler, the first round. Man, he was almost out of it in the first round. He came back and he stopped Chandler in an amazing fashion. Before that, super dominant win over Tony Ferguson, a great win against Kevin Lee. I think that was also a late finish in third round. I mean, styles make fights still, and I think if Charles Oliveira comes in the same as he did against Michael Chandler and Poirier tags him, I don't think Charles Oliveira will see the second round if that happens. But will it happen? I don't know for sure. Same for Poirier, man. He has to be sharp in this one, Charles Oliveira, very dangerous fighter, world class on the ground, very, very good stand-up game as of lately as well. In the last couple of years developed in that one. But I got a feeling Poirier is going to do it somehow, man. I don't know why. I think he's going to do it. I picked Poirier, TKO second round. And I think Poirier will be champion. I might retire after that immediately. So, yeah, that's what I think.
It's a great fight, man. I'll tell you that right now. But I think we're on the other side, man. I'm on the other side for me, Marcel. I'm going with Charles Oliveira in this fight, guys. Because I just find it very difficult to bet against him. Here's the thing. Dustin's looked good. I understand why he's the favorite, but he beat Conor twice,
I don't agree that he's the favorite, by the way.
Conor's a guy that you could take down, But Dustin, when he's the one getting taken down, he has issues. I know Khabib is Khabib. I get it, but Oliveira's a great grappler in his own right. Khabib took him down easily, really easily. Dan Hooker took him down 4 times too last year, guys. If you look at Dustin's wins, it's mostly against strikers. I'm not discrediting his win. He's beaten the best guys for the most part, but most of his wins are against striking-based fighters. And in his career, he has struggled. The few times he has struggled, it's been against grappling-based fighters. And the thing about Charles is, not only can he grapple, but now he can strike too. He's just so dangerous everywhere. 9-fight win streak, tons of momentum coming in. He's got the mental fortitude now, I believe. Obviously, the durability is always going to be an issue with this guy. I mean, I saw him in Toronto. I was at the fight in Toronto 10 years ago when he fought Cub Swanson, and Cub touched him on the chin or something. He knocked him. There was on the chin. It's like on the temple. This weird thing and fell down. Or the fight in Saskatchewan, he fought Holloway and he quit. With that neck injury he calls it. But I don't see that quitting him anymore. I think the guy's really, just evolved as a fighter and as a person. And Marcel, I think he can get Dustin down to the ground. I think what we saw against Tony Ferguson was beyond impressive. Against Chandler, took Chandler's back, got his back, finished him with strikes. I think he can get Poirier down, and I think he can finish him by submission, guys. So I'm going off the board, I guess, here, but I think Oliveira by submission. That's why I'm looking at this one. Probably not the public pick. I'm going to assume the public darling to be Poirier here, but I'm leaning towards Charles, guys.
Adam,
what?
You know what the beauty is about this fight? I'm completely not biased in this one as a fan perspective. I love this fight. I think both guys are amazing. And for me, it doesn't matter who wins. I mean, I like both guys. Both are very great ambassadors for the sport. So I'm super cool with this one. I think it's an amazing fight. Yeah,
I love it too. It's a great fight. Honestly, I was expecting to pick Poirier, but the more I looked into the research, I was leaning towards Oliveira. So I'm gonna stick with that pick for now. I'm going with Charles Oliveira. Gets him down, submits him. Get these comments, guys. Oliveira doesn't have Khabib's strength to take down Dustin. I don't know if I agree with that, man. I mean, it's not necessarily about the strength, too. It's about the technique. I know Tony's not amazing, but in his takedown defense isn't great. But just the way he body locked him, got him down, held him for 50 minutes, advanced positions the whole time. Against Chandler, too, took Chandler's back, and Chandler's a good grappler. I think the guy's on a different level right now. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Tristan, I don't see this fight going the distance, man. And I'm looking at the odds on that, and under 4.5 is, minus 250, or fight doesn't go the distance, minus 285. That's something I would definitely consider like parlaying or something, because I don't see it going 5 rounds. You don't either, obviously, Marcel. You don't see this one going the distance, right?
No.
I don't think so either. Connor had that did the guillotine. Rock Torque says Dustin by submission. I mean, it's possible. We've seen Oliveira get submitted before, at 145 especially. Not at 155. You get finished by Paul Felder with the elbows on the ground, which is obviously a concern if Dustin gets on top of him. But I don't know. I mean, just because Dustin took down Connor a couple times and beat him up, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that here. We'll see, man. It's going to be a great fight. It's an amazing fight. I just lean towards the champ to defend the belt, and I'll take the plus money on the champion. Poirier wins against Strikers, maybe pick against McGregor. Sub lost to be makes pick against Kahir. I know it's Khabib, but still, Charles Jiu-Jitsu is incredible. I agree. Remember Guida? It's possible, man. I mean, Ricardo Lamas, I think, submitted him too, right? Hey, Kevin, thanks for coming in, man, joining us. So yeah, Marcel, I mean, we're on the opposite page there. So just recapping the picks, guys. I'll recap them. We both picked Julian Robertson to beat Cachoeira. We both picked Randy Costa against Tony Kelly. I believe we both picked Ryan Hall. We both picked Alex Perez.
Yeah.
We both picked Andre Muniz. We both picked Aaron Blanchfield as an underdog. We both had Bruno Silva. We both had Ty Dubesa. We both had Pedro Munoz. We both had Josh Emmett. I wasn't expecting. Me and Marcel do not talk about these fights beforehand. I don't talk
not
to him
at all.
Never. So I have no idea what he's thinking. There was dissension here. Marcel picked Raleigh and Paiva. I picked Sean O'Malley. We both picked Carl France as an underdog. So again, Blanchfield and Carl France were consensus underdogs here, guys, from us. We both lean towards not a strong lean for me by any means, Marcel. We both like Nunes by stoppage, and then main event was dissension as well. I had Oliveira, he had Poirier. So for the most part, we had agreement, Marcel, but there were a few fights that we disagreed on, and I like it better that way. Anyways, I don't want to agree to on 15 fights. That would not be good, and
I agree.
That would be very fun to talk about. Anyways, there's some comments. Yeah, great, Sean. I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot. I did see you. I got to get out of here too, Marcel, but I did see you want to talk about that card. Was it Spung and Bigfoot quickly? You want to mention that quickly?
Yeah, what do you think about it? The main event. What do you think about it?
I mean, I don't think Bigfoot should even be licensed to fight anymore, honestly. No. What do you think? Yeah.
No, definitely not against Pong as well. That's crazy. And also Rashad Evans will be returning on that card, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I don't know who's going to fight. I don't know if they found an opponent for. I saw someone joking and said they should do the rematch with Dan Kelly. That'd be funny. Anyways, we're going to get out of here. It's just past 6 p.m. Eastern. So, again, new time slot's 5 p.m. Eastern going forward, guys. Appreciate you joining us. Marcel, again, man, so much fun. Love doing this with you every Tuesday. So much fun. Plug your stuff. Let's get out of here. We got a couple of comments in here. Thanks for this show, guys. No problem, man. Man, execution. It's funny. All right, Marcel, plug your stuff. Let's get out of here, buddy.
Yeah, Big Marcel24 on Twitter, Instagram, and MMADNA.nl on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter at MMAdamMartin. This podcast is at MMAOddsbreaker.com. That's the home of the podcast. It's also at iTunes, Spotify, all those places, Anchor, SoundCloud, anywhere you find your audio podcast, you can get this. Put up the next day. Also available, obviously, at Miami News, and bookies.com is my new website. So, I'm not doing MMA 24/7 now, but still very much involved in the sport. Still love the sport. Still love talking about it. Still love betting on it. So looking forward to this card. Marcel, thanks again, man. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Back Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern to recap UFC 269. Peace.